Hello, and welcome to the Mystic Art channel. I'm your friendly neighborhood art witch. Today, I am going to be working on a Grimoire page dedicated to my animal guide. Feel free to use my ideas in this video to create your own page in your magical journal. Now, the first thing I have to do is prep the page. I am working in a Moleskine notebook, and I find that the pages are just too thin to stand up to my art witchery. So what I'm going to do is glue down drawing paper to thicken the page. This is great to do if you're working with a plain notebook as a grimoire. Naturally, if you're working in a book that has thicker paper, you can go ahead and skip this step. I'm tracing my page onto the drawing paper to get roughly the same size. It doesn't have to fit the book perfectly. And now I'm going to cut it out. And again, I'm not super particular if it's not perfectly cut straight. Here, I'm rounding the corners of the paper to match the corners of the book better. I don't want to glue the page all the way to the inside seam of the book. Doing that actually makes my notebook way thicker, so I usually leave a little bit of space there. I'm just going to use an Elmer's glue stick for this. Oh, look at that pretty purple. Now, I am a stickler for when the papers I've glued down begin to pop up, so I try to make sure to get extra glue in the corners and edges. I found that while the glue stick works great for the middle, bottle white glue is better for keeping edges and corners down. If you glue papers in your own grimoire, you can expect that it may need a little extra glue here and there because things seem to pop up a little when you use the book. So expect to make little glue adjustments once or twice before things stay nice and stuck. Now for the paint. I'm using acrylic paint, and for a palette, well, it's just a paper plate. The palette doesn't have to be anything fancy. A piece of cardboard will do just fine. Oof, that was hard to open. So I have my brush, cup of water, and I'm just gonna start in. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with animal guides, this is an animal spirit that helps guide you in your life. These animal beings can offer protection, advice, healing, magic, inspiration, and teachings to you. Developing a relationship with your animal guide can help connect you to the natural world, as well as help you to grow spiritually. It is believed that the animal guide is a representation of who you are and who you can become. If you don't have an animal spirit guide and would like to try to meet yours, a simple Google search will lead you to a few different methods. I suggest you read more about what an animal guide is before you go trying to find one on your own. One of my animal guides is a white tiger. I met her in a meditation when I was, 15 or 16. I remember in the meditation that it was really dark, like I was in a very large room. And I sensed an animal in the room with me. I saw my guide in pieces, a flash of white fur, large paws. I sensed her moving around me. And then she revealed herself to me as a white tiger. She told me her name, and she's been with me ever since. I visit her in meditations, asking her questions, and she gives me advice. I reach out to her for comfort when I'm scared. She has stayed with me many nights after sleepless hours or nightmares. Nothing will help you sleep like a presence of a guide. I invite her in when I'm performing rituals. She's worked with me through shadow work and is with me on shamanic journeys. So because she's done so much for me and we've worked together for so long, I want to honor her in my grimoire. Now, I know some of you budding and blooming art witches out there get a little nervous when it comes to drawing or painting your guides, deities, angels, or any other awesome beings you're working with. Y'all start worrying about how your art doesn't quite look like them, or what if your guide or god doesn't like your picture. Believe me, I feel you. But you don't need to worry so much. The entity you work with will love and appreciate you putting in the effort to celebrate and honor them, even if you're not Michelangelo. I haven't created too many artworks of my guide, so I was a bit nervous myself on creating a page for her. So I decided to make it a bit easier on myself by painting her fur rather than her face or whole body. So use that as a starting point if you feel that artistic nervousness. Paint your animal guide's scales, fur, or feathers. Focus on just one feature of them that you can fill the whole page with. I think you'll be pleased with the results. I am looking at a reference as I'm painting. I found images of white tiger fur, and I had them up on my Chromebook, which is sitting off screen. It is perfectly okay to copy pictures in your Grimoire. Now, some of you may be wondering why I put the blue paint in the palette if all I'm painting is white tiger fur. Well, my original idea was to add touches of blue highlights to give the fur an ethereal, otherworldly look. I had also planned that when the paint dried, I would collage some quotes and sayings about tigers on top of the painting. But I really liked the natural look of the fur and decided not to cover any of it up. The cool thing about working in a magical art journal is you can always add more to a page later if you decide you want to change something or if you don't like how the page turned out. And that's my finished white tiger page. I'm going to leave my Grimoire open overnight just to make sure the paint is good and dry. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Do you have an animal spirit guide? If not, are you interested in meeting one? Leave me a comment down below. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a magical week and go make some art.